going in, flickering inside the base by herself. That's what I remember from Wise. Anyway, we are into the draft here, ladies and gentlemen, for Onic PH versus SGD Omega. This should be a fun one for us here. And will Onic PH actually learn from a lot of the blunders that they've had yesterday? That's the biggest thing I'm looking for right now. Because SGD, they've got a lot to prove, and they are up against a monster.
Indeed, but they are a low-key monster for themselves. They just need that correct timing to really unleash the beast, And for the side of Onic PH, they will be denying that Selena and Link pick away from SGD Omega, and of course in exchange the Popol and Koopa I think this is a respect ban for Oh My Venus, and of course the Claude. We already know the reason why this Claude is a priority ban, because of the mobility that it brings and the funneling that it gets.
I like how at the start of the ban we are seeing a respect ban on the Ling. These teams really don't want to face off against the Ling. Ling has been a complete problem yesterday. Yes, there were ways to shut down Ling, but for now the teams are still trying to figure out how to properly shut down Ling. But going back into the picks, it's a pretty safe Grok pick here for Onic PH. Might be a Jawhead Kaja pick up here for SG Dragons.
Okay, so I would not be super surprised about the Jawhead Kaja. Again, a lot of these are a little, just that's just how SGD likes to play. They want to capitalize on Heath doing a big capture, then with Haze doing basically everything else, like a follow-up and the damage output, right?
Yeah, and it's also interesting how the Kufra is also, not hovered into play right here. I think they have, very interesting picks up their sleeve. Okay, so Onic PH going for a Toms and possibly a Hanzo.
Come on, that's not gonna be.
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
It's not. I think only Bren's gonna have the guts.
Yeah.
Since they've been practicing with it extensively, I think even if the team saw a great Hanzo yesterday by Bren Esports, they don't really have the time to incorporate it onto their lineups yet. So, although if they kind of force it, I'd be super surprised. On the other side, though, reminiscent of the greed counterplay that Bren Esports did yesterday, the Sunsparks did yesterday against them, it's the Natalia pickup.
Probably going to be an Assassin Ling. Huge factor. It's a huge factor that Natalia will be able to just burst out Kimmy in the back lines, at the same time provide a lot of information for this team. So this is a really good pickup for SGD Omega. Cho is going to be banned out here for SGD, trying to limit out the options for Onic PH in terms of correct controls here.
And for the side of Onic PH, I think they will be banning out one good 4 damager against SGD Omega, because that's essentially what they need right here, comes the remaining 2 pick. So, it looks like they will be banning out the Angela instead. Well, we've already seen how an Angela can be independent even though the Ling is not coming into play, so...
Yeah, it actually works well over with Wise himself, but so I'm not sure why they went for an Angela ban. There's nothing really to ban here. There's nothing. Angela doesn't really have much utility on the other side anymore, but maybe they just want to be cautious. They don't want a scary Esmeralda with an Angela on his side, right? That does sound a bit scary. And now it's more of a well-rounded composition here from Onic PH. Good damage from everyone, and the crowd control galore. Everyone does damage here, decent amount of damage here on Onic PH's draft.
A lot of sustained damage from Onic PH too, just to add to that. SGD Omega, on the other hand, they need to find, I don't know, a suitable marksman if ever they want to, but instead, they're gonna go ahead and hover over the Hanzo.
Oh, come on, please do it. Please do it. Do it for us.
If they lock in the Hanzo's place out here is that he's going to try to go towards Kimmy, go towards Valier, where Grok and Thumbs and Xboard won't be able to protect them.
Very few people will be able to stop this Hanzo.
All right. It looks like it's locked in. They did it. They did it, but
they did it.
Okay. You guys mentioned the pros of this Hanzo right here, being able to target and pin down one of the squishier heroes of Onic PH, specifically the Kimmy and the Valier. But there is a con to this too. Where will the follow-up damage come up, if ever so that there will be miscommunications that might come into play, and especially if the Natalia uses her kit alongside with the Ghost of Hanzo, where if ever so the cleanup is needed. I think there's a bit of mystery to that to me. So
anyway, yeah. Any quick predictions though? I think we need to start predicting right away. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna go for SGD Omega with that Hanzo pickup. It's gonna completely shut down the Kimmy and the Valor for that matter.
So, yeah.
Even though I did say there is lacklusting in terms of follow-up, I think I'll go with SGD on this one.
Alright, on the other hand, I think it might be an Onic game, just because if the Hanzo fails, I feel like there's so much that's gonna fail for SGD. So it's a 2-1 here from the panel. I wonder what Wolf and Leia are up to. I haven't seen them since yesterday. The animals! Take it away!
We're still here, Rockhard, and thanks so much from the panel, Nomad and Seiya. The animals back at it again. And you know who's back? Fuzaken is back now playing for Onic PH. With SGD Omega, they're donning a very cheeky lineup. Well, it's cheeky for the uninitiated, but this is already meta picks, and it makes a lot of sense versus Onic PH. Leo, what are your thoughts on that draft?
I mean, the Hanzo pick for SGD was really 50-50. It could have been that, or it could have been the carry, really. I mean, if they were playing safe, it would be the carry, and they would be playing for the late game, right? And on the other hand, it's Onic with the Kimmy. We've seen Wise go ham with the Kimmy since yesterday, and he was almost untouchable throughout the day. And it really just came down to Carlteasy doing Carlteasy things against Bryn that put them, Sunsparks. Sorry, there you go. It's JP doing JP thing that really knocked Onic down here into the lower bracket. But with that being said, I'm looking forward to what this Hanzo brings to the table. I think the goal here for Hajizi is to really just plant his body, Kinjutsu, Pinnacle Ninja all the way into where Wise is and just burst him down. That's really all it is. And I think the Natalia here is going to be used to great effect to really make sure that Wise doesn't have free reign.
We'll see if that will be the case. Because one thing that we have not talked about, or at least so far for the lineup of SGD Omega, is that they don't have the push. Well, if they do eliminate the members of Onic PH, they can push, but with the broad force of this Kimmy lineup, with this Grok, they are going to lose turret. And I'm honestly thinking that the invade speed of Onic PH is actually high compared to the speed of jungle take of SGD Omega. Fortunately, Hanzo, okay, not really fortunate. He had to sacrifice himself just to secure the buff, but he'll lose it anyway, so I don't think it's a fair trade. Kenji here securing that beautiful red buff or orange buff for himself with the retribution. What a play. Oh, they have to be careful here.
That's interesting. Who's gonna go down? I was just gonna say, oh my Venus gonna follow suit. Hayes gets the kill, and Wise gonna survive. I just noticed, you're right, it's Kenji, the Uranus, with the retribution, and now SGD with an invasion of their own, but they're gonna go in, take a life, down goes Wise, the Kimmy pays the price, and they lose another buff. They're trading, Wolf, they're trading, and Kenji pops the purple with his retribution. This is the first time I believe we've seen a Uranus with retribution.
Yeah. Second time, I think. It's also from Kenji. When they want to, I think they went Ling on that specific game. Or at least what's important is that they notice that their opponents can easily invade them. So what he does is he secures the red buff from invaders by having his own retribution. So this is the perfect scenario for SGD Omega in the early stage of the game. Not really perfect because Hanzo still needs some farm. But when it comes to just like raw idea of shutting down the Kimmy in the first 2 minutes of the game, they have done their homework. Now, they're leading by 6,000. Onic PH with still 4,500 just now. do you feel that this Kimi will now face a lot of problems heading into the mid game?
Thinking that way to stop the Hanzo train here on SGD is to maybe be a little more aggressive on the part of Yakno and Venus. Like, they need to track down where Hajizi is. And I think they did well in the first couple of minutes to do that. But real quick, an engagement down bottom, a pushback with a torrent by Venus. Triple flames from Onic PH here. It's good to push back if you're coming from the front, but if you're a ghost like Hajizi, then that's a whole new problem. So there's also the threat of Natalia. So I think Wise is going to have a very hard time here as compared to the previous matches they played this weekend.
Oh, definitely. But he's playing well. Now, Fuzaken is going to be ejected up.
Ejected?
You know what? Ejected. There you go. I love it. Yeah, it's the proper word. Yeah, I think that majority of the early stages of the game, they were able to shut down Hajizi, but they forgot the fact that Hayes is still here with the Natalia execute, and then Kenji is available with the retribution. So those are the things that maybe they have taken for granted. Nevertheless, Onic PH, they still will secure their second round of buffs, which is very important now. Now, oh my goodness, bad spot. Now jump in, coming up from the clone of this Hanzo, but easily shut down. Good thing about having the Valier is you always have control and damage on that clone. Hayes though far too forward. See the last insanity. Kenji wants to dive here, but Dilar as well as Fuzaken will hold their ground. They fended off the attack, and Onic PH will get a little bit of breath of fresh air coming into the second round of the second phase of this game.
Still Onic on the back foot here. Fuzaken taking a few hits from Hajizi's clone. Kinjutsu, Pinnacle Ninja, chasing him right through the turret, but Fuzaken with the Ancient Gift gonna barely survive, but Venus gets an off-cam kill down bottom on the Toshi with the help of Iyaknu. Pop in the Continent Inferno, but here we go. He's gonna go for a revenge kill, but he's not going to. Instead, throwing a minion over onto Iyaknu. But Iyaknu's in line. There's the flicker. He's gonna get the kill. There is the smart missile, but no, Iyaknu, you and time skip to survive, and they back off. Hayes once more getting a little too cheeky, takes down Dilar, but dies in the process, as well as Kenji. That's a good trade, Wolf. I'll take that any day.
Very good trade. You know what Iyaknu did? So smart, honestly. He's waiting for the Joy to be there, and he knows that Heath is not like a core Jawhead with high-end dry, so he will not be killed nonetheless. And whenever if Heath does dive, even when he is at like 10% HP and Heath is like 100, you can still take him down because he's the Thams. But anyways, there will be a clash here. Heath with the unstoppable force, not gonna get the turtle as he is taken out. Now, Hajizi with the clone, gonna be defended by Wise, and Hayes, the backlines, gets the kill. Not an execution, but he will get the kill nonetheless. Hayes still invisible, wants to go for Oh My Venus, but Oh My Venus knows better. Instead of going back to base, just straight up went to the brush to teleport away. Nicely done from Onic PH, and they have fully recovered this time. Obviously, SGD Omega has got a little bit net worth lead, but it's not that much. Yaknu though, taken out. There's Hayes in there, not even needing the execute.
Yeah. I think any level of sustain from Iyaknu would not be enough to survive a three-man assault from SGD Omega. Not at this point, but look at this now. Toshi being rained down upon by Wise with his orange buff. And once more, Fuzaken getting ejected by Heath. Nice pick off down bottom as a revenge kill for Iyaknu's loss onto Toshi. Not feeling that Esmeralda too much, now sitting at 0, 2, and 1. I think Toshi has focused on stopping Iyaknu from essentially split pushing down bottom this whole time. But maybe soon we'll feel that Esmeralda.
Maybe soon. Oh, Kenji, the problem I have with Retribution on Uranus is it doesn't have that much presence in the later stages of the game. Unless it's a battle between getting turtles or lords. But look at that. They burst down immediately the Hanzo. And one thing that you have to take note if you're playing Hanzo, it doesn't matter if you have so much damage output and so much survivability. If you're not careful with the usage of your clone, you can easily be destroyed by your opponents. And we can see that with Valier and Kimi, the damage is actually overwhelming from Onic PH, that they can take out that clone even when it's just a fresh clone, I would say.
Yep. And that's two kinds of damage for, I mean, it's mostly magic, but one is a sustained type of damage, DPS, and the other is more burst in the form of Valir, Kimi on the prior. So, Wolf, I gotta ask you right now, I think you'll agree, we're still at parity, right? We're both seeing these two teams stay relatively on their side of the map. If they would cut, then it would most likely be from the tanks, the chunkier heroes, or Haze on the Natalia. But I just gotta ask you right now, 7 minutes into this game one, Fuzaken, the Kingmaker, has been fielded by Onic PH.
Yeah.
Are you feeling this more than Jay's playstyle yesterday?
That's a weird question, though. I can't answer that because when he played the Hylos, it was so good. When he played the Kaja, it was underwhelming, even when it was the Akaje special, right? I guess that there's a difference of play style, but maybe I can answer that question after the late game because that's when Fuza can rise. I mean, we know this. We have interviewed players who have played with Fuzaken before, and Fuzaken is more like that the advisor to the queen, to Queen Venus. And with how Onic PH operates, like having Venus in at the helm as the queen, sometimes they can be authoritative with Venus on the helm, right?
Yeah.
And that might not be the best approach. So Fuzaken is like the equalizer for team. Look at how much control they have on the clone. They will lose their Kimi, but there will be a shutdown on to Haze. Turtle will be taken by the Retribution. Uranus can just still chasing, still has got some firepower in him. And will be able to run away. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off, but definitely SGD Omega are happy with it, as Haze was the exchange for a core.
Yaknu barely alive here. Kenji smells blood. He takes out Yaknu and barely still alive once more with two kinds of buffs here. Down goes Venus. Hajizi gets the kill with his Pinnacle Ninja. And look at what Toshi did, man. Toshi just doing the work. Alright, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. And he pushed up top, almost even taking the last tier turret. Man, if we're gonna look at the score at this point, if the game ends anytime soon, I'm pretty sure he would have a low score, but that's great. Like, nobody else on the map has been doing as well as Toshi when it comes to pushing, and kudos to him.
You know what? I think that you can kind of feel that Onic PH are losing grip on this game because they done the Kimi. And they might be facing problems now. Like this one, Hajizi is so strong, they want to go for the dive on the Wise. Wise will be safe. What a nice ultimate from Fuzaken with the wild charge, making sure that Wise is safe and they are able to convert into a kill. Now the punishment coming out from Onic PH, they have to take care of themselves, take control this time. So Wise will be able to secure that red buff. Genji now trapped in a very bad spot. Fuzaken with that gate, closing down the gates even when Genji is still so far away from exiting that platform, and means that Onic PH will get 2 kills and have secured the red buff. And that's more than enough for Onic PH now that they're struggling. That's very good news.
Yeah, it's good news, but it doesn't put them in a position yet where they can be comfortable. They can be confident. Now looking at it in hindsight, again, it's in 2020. The draft was won by SGD Omega. I mean, since it's still so alien to us to see a Hanzo, then maybe we're not comfortable with a lineup like this. But against the Kimi, even on Wise, even with Venus, with the protection, it's still just so lethal. And look at this now, Haze punishing Wise for just exploring his even own side of the jungle, almost being bursted down to half, but Wise, ever the wiser, backs out of that fight.
What's gonna happen now is SGD Omega just applying the pressure. Onic PH trying to recover with securing their own boss. And Hajizi still ain't that much of a problem for Onic PH, as long as they stick together, as long as Oh My Venus is guarding Wise as well as this Grok, and be having a little bit of security onto this Kimi. And anyway, this Kimi went for the mystery shop, so it's not that bad in terms of the late game, but Wise is gonna be taken out nonetheless. Haze and GC teaming up. Oh My Venus is gonna be the next casualty, I mean, for Onic PH, as they have defended at least, or maybe not a defense actually, as they have lost 2 members, with Kenji stealing that buff once again. Right,
Man.
the purple this time.
They keep the turret, but they lose two in Wise and Venus. If it was Fuzaken and Yaklu or Fuzaken and Dilar, I'd take it. But yeah, this is gonna convert into a free Lord. It's as free as it gets. This map is completely red right now. I mean, it's just a matter of time before this turret gets broken down in mid. And down bottom, look at this. Toshi starting it up already. So not looking good for Onic right now. 11 minutes in, they're down almost more than 5,000 gold.
Oh, this is bad news, honestly, because they have Kimmy with 3 death. I'm sure that there can still it can be turned around no matter what. I honestly think that Onic PH are having a good time with Dilar as well as Iyaku, even if you count all the death. As you can see, you still have pretty good network, to say the least. Nevertheless, SGD or Omega, if they do continue to push, that's when they will run. Whenever they are able to isolate Fuzaken and Wise away from Wise, or maybe just run through them like with brute force, I mean, with this clone coming out from GZ, they can take out the members of Onic PH. But we will see, because Onic PH, what they can do now is defend. They are defending at least their base well. I'm actually surprised that they have not lost any inhibitor even after that Lord.
You know what? Compared to yesterday's Kimmy lineups on Onic PH, I noted down in their bout against Sunsparks, in your face draft, 0 deaths Wise. And this is just quite the polar opposite here, Wolf. And I think it's no short credit to SGD's draft. Again, the Hanzo, even Toshi able to jump into Wise if he needed to. Hayes just able to jump in there. It's unfair. There's a gap closer in the fact that nobody can catch you because you're invisible. So it's gonna be an uphill battle. So far, the pushing lineup in Onic not even able to push one turret. Already 13 minutes in.
I think that the real MVP of this game, at least the game changer of this game, is Hayes with Natalia. It's weird because Kenji with the retribution as well.
Yeah,
it's not flashy, honestly, but if you think about it, it serves a lot of purpose. Like this time, Onic PH had to get 5 members to secure an orange buff because they are threatened that somebody can jump to them. Like Kenji can just pop the retribution at any point in time.
That feels miserable.
That is miserable.
And the fact that at any point, if Onic loses Wise, then that's such a large hit to their damage output. But if SGD Omega loses Hayes, they're fine. If they lose Haji, it's kind of okay too, right? So
yeah, they still have Toshi.
This is the anti-funnel strategy. That's not funnel at all. You know how we called yesterday Ling the anti-funnel funnel? Yeah. This is just no funnel at all.
And if you think about it, Hanzo can easily farm and recover because of the fact that he has that instant devourer of creeps.
He makes a
Forget what it's called. The nom-noms. With Heptasis, I'm sorry, with the Blade of Despair. So strong right now. We'll see how SGD Omega will approach this. Maybe they'll wait for the second Lord. Maybe wait, not because of the presence of the Lord on their side, but more about them forcing Onic PH to commit a mistake. And I think that come the second Lord, there will be a big mistake from Onic PH, and they might lose the game because of that. If they don't, well, at least they still hang on.
Yeah.
Lord, sorry, the buff is gonna be there again. Oh my Venus gonna be with the ejector onto Venus. He is taken out. Oh wow! Iyaku actually in a very bad spot away from his teammates. He might buy the time, but I don't think he will survive this. Nor will he get the kill, unless of course he outplays Hayes. My goodness, Iyaku! I shouldn't have doubted you. He will fall, but that jump, my goodness, Hayes. He did not expect that at all.
That was the best case scenario for Iyaku. I mean, he had no business surviving. You were right, Wolf. I don't blame you for that. But the fact that he got Hayes, that's something, right? It's not nothing, it's something. But still, this Lord, man, it's looking free for SGD here. They are up 1 man earlier. Now they're at equal footing. Hayes for Iyaku. It's a 4v4 situation on the map. Kenji here was able to take it. Yeah, I think he stole the orange again. What a bad boy. He stole the orange in Wise's face. And that's clearly because of a lack of retribution on the side of Onic PH. Alright. The jungle of Onic PH is a hot zone, ladies and gentlemen. They can't even take their own stuff without risking life and limb. And SGD Omega, despite the small amount of kills and deaths on either side, 10-14, by no means is it a stomp. It just feels miserable. It feels like Onic PH is getting choked in by SGD. And now Venus blasting Hajizi's clone down, and they have begun hitting the Lord as Wise picks up the glaive. I don't see any contest here for Onic PH. SGD is going to take this Luminous Lord now. 16 minutes, 40 seconds in. It's as free as it gets. Fuzaken trying to put Kenji down, but no siree, not going to be enough. Nice Courage Mask onto Heath. Only one death across this whole match. This is looking very dangerous. Wise spotted out by Heath. Not exactly going to be able to go in. The fight is now in the orange. Oh, sorry, in the purple here. Oh, there you go. Ejected once more. Fuzaken, his favorite target. Smart missiles blasting down the big tank. Dilar, last insanity onto nothing. He spun his head right around the air as SGD goes ahead and retreats, waiting for the Lord, but still maintaining pressure across all three lanes. Lord gonna be marching up top. And I'm guessing that's where the first penetration will be onto the black and yellow base. So far, so good. Heath, once more with only 1 death and 5 assists. They're just waiting to be able to collapse down onto the Onic PH facility, their headquarters, their base, if you will.
Wow.
Fuzaken and the gang. This is a 4-man coalition from Onic PH going for the defense. Toshi waiting in the wings. I'm guessing he's gonna jump Wise? I don't think so. Man, it's just so bad for Wise. Him being 4-3-0, that's a miracle because there's so many who can jump him now. Pinnacle Ninja Hajizi going on to Wise once more. His clone dies. He needs to wait, needs to recover a little bit more. We are just raining down the fire onto these minions, and the fight is yet to break out.
I think I'm back, my friend.
Hello.
All right. Some hiccups. Maybe I was also hit by that what do you call it, the King Jutsu.
You were ejected away.
I was ejected away, but nevertheless, you know what? I kind of expected Onic PH to have lost an inhibitor turret. Honestly, because before I was disconnected, I think it was Yakdo getting a kill onto Hayes, and SGD Omega was working on the Lord already. But I'm surprised Onic PH did not lose any turret. And look at their inhibitors. They're fairly healthy, honestly, even with 2 Lord on the side of SGD Omega. That is, to me, very surprising. Now they toss Fuzaken out, those ejector out again. Yakdo live stealing it away. But of course, that's just the clone.
Yeah, but
and they have, of course, it caught their Inferno. Yeah.
Check this out. They rain down all of their old combos and just get rid of the clone. But look at this now. Heath looking really low. He needs to back out. He rains down everything. He still has an unstoppable force. And in comes Toshi. I think Toshi's gonna get the job done here. Hajizi finishing off the Yaklo. Gets a double onto Venus. And they're not even done just yet. The clone goes down. Actually, Hajizi, his actual body has been decimated by Fuzaken. And that's their only loss. Kenji's gonna be next here, but not just yet. Hayes, get away! Hayes gonna be taken down by Wise. What a turn! It's a 2 for 2, and Fuzaken has been the factor here. He's the changing tides for Onic, and a losing game has become now a little more equal. But I don't think I should be speaking just yet, because Wise is still yet able to get his own buffs.
Oh man, such a beautiful play from Fuzaken here. Double kill, obviously, for SGD Omega. Hajizi, after the double kill, kind of felt that he can get to the fight, but unfortunately, he didn't know that the Kingmaker was there. And if ever Fuzaken can make kings out of Onic PH, there's Queen Venus and there's King Wise, or maybe the Wise King, with the Kingmaker at their side. This guy is such a great wingman to the team, and so far, with his presence, playing now for Onic PH has shown that Fuzaken can really change things up. And maybe I'm able to answer your question earlier. Is it more impactful to have Fuzaken? Well, you can see now the results of the Fuzaken Grok.
And I think this is a little more significant because they have been on the back foot this whole time, and the fact that they haven't lost means Fuzaken's doing his job right.
We'll see. They still are lagging behind SGD Omega. And I still think that the problem for Wise is going to happen until the end of time. I think that at this point, he has to accept that he will not get any buffs at all. Oh, this actually, yeah.
He won't get any buffs, and he won't be able to fight as comfortably as he usually can.
No. He has a... He's maybe playing something with a platform, so that was later had GZ slow is gonna be taken out. Heath jumping onto Oh My Venus, but Oh My Venus gets away! But combo in there from Fuzaken was the wild charge and the maximum charge. Double charge. Fuzaken, Guardian's Barrier, perfectly placed, but of course there's the dash coming in from Hayes, but Yakno makes sure that they will clean up. Cutter Inferno still available. Toshi as well as Heath. So much shielding coming out from SGD Omega. And did Onic PH already overstep their bounds? The answer is no. Fuzaken makes it sure that the clone is going to be taken out while Iapno still fleshes out. SGD Omega's remaining members will not get any additional kill, but they do take out Hayes. And that's already good for Onic PH. But look at SGD Omega. Look at Kenji. The playmaker, he doesn't care about the clash because he knows that his team will survive anyways. He just takes care of the orange. And I think he will get it.
The bad boy.
Launch attack!
Indeed. Bad boys in action. In comes Kenji, in comes Heath. They want to go for the Wise. What a wild charge! Once again, coming up from Fuzaken! They kill Heath, I mean, even through the immortality, and they pop Kenji's immortality as well. Or was it an immortality from Kenji? I failed to see. I think it was. But nevertheless, Onic PH, man. I think your questions are answered now, Leo.
Yep. Waiting. Nothing against Jay. I love Jay as a player, but there's something else with Fuzaken this season. You know, there's something else in the Kingmaker, and I think they really just needed to unleash him in the playoffs. And right here, despite the disadvantaged draft, despite the tough early and mid game, you're right, Wolf. The advisor, the Kingmaker here for Solomon, Wise, the Wise King, and Queen Venus. My dude, I really think that this is the difference. You know, the Fuza can make a difference.
Yes.
So
Love it.
I'm still looking forward to this. It's not over. 9,000 go down, but they're taking kills where they can, and they never really are put down. Or, well, they're put down, but not out. And they've been winning trades left and right in the past couple of engages. So I'm looking forward to this. Finally, they get to push 2 lanes, mid and bottom. This is a breath of fresh air for Wise.
I actually failed to see that this was the first time that they were able to get at least the turret. And so far, this is maybe the farthest they went away from their base.
Yes,
the longest time.
It's better late than never.
Better late than never indeed. Toshi actually taking some damage in there. Wise starting to hurt. Getting some farm for this Kimi, but they still have the bodyguard, the Queen, and Fuzaken, the Kingmaker. Do they wanna contest the Lord? I advise against it because there's a retribution on Kenji. They still have Toshi and Hajizi. So much, I would say, burst damage. Oh, my Venus! So be careful. Oh, okay.
Hunted
so that's
down the hitman. He hunted down Hajizi. Down he goes. Dilar is gonna be running away from Toshi. What a take, Wolf! Oh, but Dilar, the dream has been shut down. Toshi gets the kill.
There's an innate advantage for obviously that Esmeralda, but look at this. Onic PH on the advance. Is this the first time they'll get the steal on the blue buff? Yes, they will.
They got the purple! They got the purple!
Oh my goodness. You know how they did that? Because Kenji still has retribution. It's again Fuzaken with the wild charge, making sure that they knock him up. Now they're breathing because they know that Hajizi is not available for 10 seconds. But they have to be careful. I think that this is the better time to back down Wise. Oh, you have to be careful. Hate is there. Has Immortality. Oh my Venus cannot help you. Fusaken, where's the wild charge? It's not yet available this time. Can they save Wise? They're trying. They're doing their best. Heath trying to run away. Oh, what a good usage of the tension. And now it's they eliminate Haze. Toshi jumps, takes on Venus, but he's gonna be Yaknu on the backlights, but there's the kill. Yaknu, they finally take out the Kimi. Yaknu on this stamps. Really wounded at this point. They're going for Heath, they're going for Kenji, but honestly, they have to run away this time. Yaknu pops a counter Inferno and gets some life steal out of the jungle creep, jumps to the right side, but he's gonna be chased down by Kenji still. Look at this, 2 tanks, 2 reap damage dealers, but in comes Hajisi. The killing blow is there. And they might get Yaknu even after that immortality. Indeed, they will. Fusaken, the wild charge, far too late. A very extended fight for SGD, Omega, and Onic PH. And I can't keep track of who got the better of it, honestly.
Yeah, it was an extended team fight, exchanged left and right, but I think the headline of that whole engagement was Saving Private Wise, directed by Steven Spielberg, alright? They just had to literally save Wise to get the most of it, and I think after 2 kills on the side of SGD Omega, that's when Wise finally went down, but that's more than you can expect. I mean, I expected Wise to go down as soon as Hayes got a hand of him, but to be honest, it was such great play, especially from Venus, pushing back what was left of his kit before he eventually also bit the dust. But yeah, that could have been so much more disastrous for Onic PH. And it was quite sour, I'll admit. But in the end, I think they won the exchange still.
In all sense of the... In all, I would say the entire grand scheme of things in this game at least, they have won the trade because 1, they are able to survive, and 2, they weren't pushed by SGD Omega. So at least they will prolong this game. 27 minutes in, it's not yet over, Leo. It's honestly just starting, perhaps.
Not even a single lane pushed in to the base, and there's still one more second tier turret for SGD Omega in the Lord stands. This is it's not even a scaled up Lord, so that can still level up.
Oh my Venus finds 2 members of SGD Omega. One thing that Onic PH maybe should always consider is that they can be picked apart by SGD Omega. So at least now, you always have to keep tabs of where Haze is. So it's a winter transition indeed for the Kimi. Wow. So he sold 1 item and then bought an immortality. And that is also the take note that he's already got his immortality before. But anyway, there could be a clash here. GC with the clone. Dealing damage to Wise, but a wild charge once again in defense of King Wise once again. Fusaken makes it sure that they will keep him safe. Toshi jumps, and this is a bad jump actually. He will be stunned up, but not punished by Onic PH yet. Kenji. It's gonna be the Guardian's barrier to close the gates. I mean, as Kenji's trapped slowed down so much and will be taken out by Onic PH. But in comes the clone. Round number 2 for it. But look at the damage of Oh My Venus and Wise. They immediately blow up the clone. And without without Kenji, SGD Omega, they will just back away. Or will they? Toshi, spotted by Fusaken. Or was it Fusaken who spots them out? Both of them. Yeah. And Yaknu just shoving the lane in the middle.
I think it was Fusaken. Fusaken is the one who's dictating this battle. And Yaknu now collapsing down onto mid. And they're able to push. And I think I gotta give credit here to Yaknu for keeping tabs onto Haze down bottom. He always knew where Haze was with the help of that exclamation point on your head as a status marker. So these team fights really could be just demolished by the presence of Haze. But because of Yaknu just always checking in on him, they're able to take those kinds of wins and take down Kenji.
At 30 minutes in, Lethal Wanderers are... It takes a lot of time to actually take, nevertheless.
They scale.
They scale. Okay, now SGD Omega complete with their squad. Yaknu is gonna shove the bottom lane actually, and SGD Omega might think about this, but Toshi is also very far away from the team. Hajizi will be fleshed out. There's the clone taken out as well. No deaths yet on Onic PH. Heath now for this. Very low, but there comes the kill. Onto my Venus Toshi with the jump. Wise in trouble. Still has got the immortality, but he's away from Fusaken as well as Dilar. Can they save Wise this time? Kenji dealing the damage. Where's the wild charge? Some lifesteal will not help him as Wise is taken out. Iyaku far too deep, but goes for a GC. Finds the real ninja and takes him down, but at to what expense? Is he gonna die from here? He's gonna be ejected to the turret. The execute will not kill him, but the damage of Toshi will. No more lifesteal for this guy, and he goes down. Fusaken with a wild charge, not gonna get a kill onto Hate, but he's buying time for his team. Doesn't have the immortality, or does he? Yes, he does. Gets away, so tanky, and Dilar wants for the fight. My goodness, what is happening now, Leo?
I could have sworn that Onic PH made a mistake there, but this is again one of the best things that they can do. Buy themselves time, force SGD Omega to be elsewhere on the map, and because of the wave left down bottom by Iyaku, they're not in trouble. Look, the map is mostly blue, to be honest, right? Just now it became red because the rest of the minions were able to move in, but up until this point, Onic was actually making a good push. They were forcing the issue on the map. And now, when Wise and Iyaku come back, I'm wondering if Hajizi can make it in time because there's a team fight just waiting to happen here in the Onic PH jungle towards that Lord Nest.
Ooh, okay, so because Wise doesn't have the immortality anymore, sells it, goes for the genius ones. It's all about damage. Yeah,
Juggling at this point.
juggling at this point. So what you do is to sell your items when you don't need it, all right, and then
cooldown,
if the cooldown is already off on I would say the immortality, and I'm sure that they're timing it out. I mean, there's no sense for you to do this if you don't time it properly. I think I saw a few did do this, and it makes it so that that secret shop or mystery shop, I mean, is still viable in the late game. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's just an early game emblem, but with this kind of place, on a very farmed Kimi this time, 20,000 gold.
Down bottom though, Iyaku, caught up by Toshi and Hayes. Gonna pop the Cauter's Inferno, get a little bit of time on you. Venus, Wise and the gang to the rescue. Fusaken only surrendering himself once to the Omega squad. That's impressive. I just noticed now that Fusaken's sitting on 3-1-1-1 or 3-1-11.
My goodness, I was astonished, honestly. The way he plays is so aggressive, but he still just
gets away with it. Gets away with it.
I'm impressed. Welcome back, Kingmaker. Welcome to the playoffs, I mean. So here we go, Onic PH.
Wise gets the little.
Yeah. Onto the bottom, there could be a little bit of a 1v1.
In a fight that lasts this long, walkie grass is still good. Like even if it's the late game, walkie grass just dictates that you can stay in fights much longer. You can rotate instead of go home to base. And I can respect the hustle here. Hayes now being chased down by Fusaken. They have an idea where he is, and they just instead push him back. Toshi just waiting to pick a fight. And look at this now. Heath and Kenji just once more watching out for the purple. Not charge.
Have to be careful. Heath in a very good position now. Not spotted out. Heath and Hayes. Oh, they could go for the backstab, but Wise finally shows himself.
Ejector onto Wise, out of you to Hayes. You're welcome. Triple H, it's time to play the game. Venus gonna be up next. Immortality is popped. There's a wild charge onto 3, but it's not gonna be enough. Toshi takes down the queen, and now Dilar is trying to repair, trying to band-aid that mistake. The death bush from SGD Omega is real. And right now, Toshi gonna be back in out, flicker in through the base, through the wall, I'm sorry, of that serpent. And now, I don't think Onic PH is in any shape or form to get a kill here. It's not enough. And look at how Hajizi, he's taking Lord.
Instantly, SGD Omega wants to go for the Lord, but they kind of recognize the strength of Onic PH, and even then, what a beautiful Guardian's Barrier from Fusaken. Set the Lord, maybe. Wild Charge, not gonna reach Hayes. Fusaken is out. Dilar pops the last Insanity. Wanna go for Hayes badly this time, but it's not advised. Oh, Guardian's Barrier is not the best. Flicker forward from Dilar, man with a plan. Really hungry for the kill. Hajizi is here. Decides against jumping onto Dilar, but this time with Toshi in and Fusaken low, they might be able to take out the export, and indeed they will. The lanes are being shot here. The rest of the pitch Fuziken is still alive. Iakno is in the bottom lane.
Oh, forgive me, Your Highness, Onic PH, Esports PH, MLBB Royalty. They seem to have planned that out. They seem to have baited out the Death Bush play from SGD Omega, opening up top, opening down bottom. They're able to push that final turret before the base and just lose Wise and Oh My Venus in the process. Dilar, though, trading for Hayes. I think that's a good deal in itself. Onic just won that overall in a macro sense, I think.
I would agree with you, honestly.
They didn't even mind, and look, now they're in good shape to take Lord themselves, and I think they can take it faster. They can take it faster than Hajisti for sure. What's going on?
You know, I just want to say to the viewers that when we prepared for the broadcast of MPL, we call Onic PH the gods of macro. And I think that it is showing up right now again. Anybody could have said that Kimi with 4 death come 8 minutes will just straight up lose the game. But Onic PH says, not if you macro your way out of it.
Nah, fam. They remind me of Game of Thrones House Martell. You know, plans within plans.
Yeah. Yes.
Unbent, unbowed, unbroken. There you go.
There you go.
They'll take it, but in the end, yo, give us 36 minutes. Nay, give us 42, 48, however long it takes, and we will get it done, alright? Hayes here, it looks like he's next, and I think they know exactly where he is. Oh, it was a birthday yesterday, but not today. Down he goes, Wise gets the kill.
Ain't called Wise if you aim twice. That was a sniper. That was at sniper range, at least for Wise. Maximum charge at maximum range, able to hit and identify where his opponent is. And now SGD Omega, their friend, Kenji, as well as the gang. Interesting Guardians to put down his opponents. The GC with the damage though, with the transient placed properly. They have to be careful. Death Brush. Wise! Oh, just recently now gets the immortality. That timing couldn't have been more perfect. You know what? Honestly, if Toshi didn't see that, I would have sworn that he jumped Wise there.
I mean, he could have started to charge up the falling star move,
That's
but
right.
you know, let's not count out the mechanics on Toshi. He himself was once a very good Kimi player,
That's
able
right.
to dodge falling star moves himself with Kimi's dash. So he knows the mechanics involved. But look at this now up top. We're talking about the young man, Adrian Chicocalo on Toshi. Dilar bursting him down. I think it's going to be heat in their iron sights. They have him as the next target. Hajizi with the ghost. All right, it looks like we have to watch out for what Kimi's up to, what Wise is going to be planning.
Yeah.
And are they planning out for Lord?
What is this?
He lives in the pit, man.
Okay.
Just bought some time. Kenji still got it.
Kenji. Alright. Oh my god. How many close calls does this game have? But nevertheless, Heat.
I lost track.
There you go. There's the kill of Iakno.
But Heat is looking low.
Ooh.
I think fine. Nope, he has an immortality. He's at maximum range. They're okay. But yeah, Iakno, nice pick off. But I guess they were just buying time. Wise couldn't make the call. Should I go for the craft or Lord? Neither was a good idea at the time.
Well, yeah, we were enjoying this game so much that we didn't notice. It's already 39 minutes. Did you notice that?
I think I mentioned earlier 38.
Okay.
No. But no. To be honest, I acknowledge the number. I acknowledge the duration, but it feels like a good match still, alright? I'm not tired at all. And Kenji now, look at this. Burst him down. The Kingmaker takes him out. Iakno just goes down another time here. Actually, Toshi now follows through. Venus, the sacrifice. Very much worth it.
Happening?
2 for 1. Ejector onto Wise. He's still alive. Smart Missile is not going to save you now. Down goes Heat. It's currently a 3 for 1. Iakno sacrifice earlier was very much worth it. Hayes, what you gonna do?
3
jump
down
away.
on SGD. That was a 4v5. Iakno wasn't there.
Iakno wasn't there.
And now the Lord. Or will it be?
I think it's prime that they do take Lord.
It should be Lord.
I think they're counting out. Oh, they're clearing the waves. They're clearing the waves.
Oh my goodness. Wait, I think they know where Hajizi is now. Hajizi gets away. So close, honestly. Onic PH, what are you doing? Why aren't you taking the Lord?
I think
maybe
the
they
Lord
want
would be good. But no, I think they're planning for the long run here, and they're just pushing the waves in. Wolf, I think they know what they're doing. So
yeah, sure.
They're gonna take the purple here. They're gonna take the purple.
I wanna okay, so 43 minutes was the longest game of professional Mobile Legends, at least in the professional leagues. It was
43 or 48.
I don't think it's 48. I think it's 43 because 42 was MSC.
Was MSC, 43 was M1. Well, we're breaking records.
Nevertheless, we're breaking records.
41 minutes, 12 seconds currently. Nobody has been penetrated just yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, this game, I will cast this all day, honestly.
I don't mind.
Look
at this. Look at this, Wolf. Onic PH has now gone up in net worth. They're up 7,000 gold. Earlier, they were down 10, 11 maybe, and now they're up. What's going on?
Yeah, I think that the answer to that question is the fact that they don't have a third push. I think that before this series, and even in this series, we were talking about Hanzo lineups having a lot of problems pushing.
Yeah.
And I think Leo, maybe you guys don't know this, but we were talking, Leo and I were talking through the draft, and Leo was like, don't go Hanzo, you don't have push. And I think this is the reason why. After all the turrets have fallen, you will have a little bit of a flat line when it comes to your overall net worth lead, right? Or your gold gain, I would say.
You plateau at
basically.
Some point. And yeah, I think now I understand in a larger sense here. With the lineup that SGD brought out, it's a shock and awe type of lineup. They'll try to get you early on, and at first we thought that, well, in the funnel meta, it's the Kimi lineup that's the fastest off the track, right? Compared to the Claude, compared to even the Ling. If the Kimi, you let that Kimi do Kimi things, expect your lanes to be pushed in. But this anti-funnel strategy on SGD Omega now, you're right, it starts early and then it plateaus. And I think now we've seen it happen.
And you know what, Kenji, with this retribution, as good as it was in the early stages of the game, now you're looking at a little bit of a disadvantage for the Uranus. This is pull yourself together and retribution, right? So that's a problem. I mean, how many times will Kenji think that maybe if I had Execute, we could have won this? Maybe if I had Flicker, I could have saved myself. Maybe if I had something like Vengeance, I might have punished the Kimi. But unfortunately, it wasn't the case. Now, I think that Wise, as well as the rest of the gang, they have already learned how SGD Omega wants to go for death brushes and how they aren't prioritizing getting the lanes off. Yeah. Because so far, Onic PH, what they did was to stick together and make sure the lanes are shoved. And this is also why their side laners are so farmed. Like if you look at Dilar and Yakno, they are so well farmed. It doesn't matter now though, because I think that everybody has reached maximum net worth anyways.
Well, it's still gonna come down to juggles. If you're gonna juggle items, it's still very important. So I think they should just still take whatever they can from the map. But check this out, I think there's a fight waiting to happen in mid. They trap down Heath as well as Hayes, but he's gonna run away. Toshi, 1v1 against Yaknu here. A fight has broken out. Conquer's Inferno. Divide and Conquer is the name of the game. He's gonna bite the dust here, popping the immortality, and Venus is not done with him just yet. Silence now is Yaknu, but again, that's Yaknu. He has an immortality. Conquer's Inferno already popped. Down he goes. Kenji pulls the trigger, and it's a trade.
1-for-1, and Onic PH aren't that happy for that, especially if they lose their immortality on an important hero. But this is what Iyaknu does, and maybe for the good. Maybe they'll flesh out where Haze is, but then again, this is Haze. A very smart player will not be taken out easily, for sure. Not make himself spotted out.
Slowly, I think Onic PH has drawn out a trail, or at least a pattern as to where Haze might be. There's one kill on the Dilar, had an immortality, Pyraga armor goes back up. Haze didn't lose much on that. I think he popped his execution there, his execute, and then he goes back out. But good news, Wise gets the orange buff, so still, man, we can't count either team out. Either team. At 44 minutes, I think we broke the record.
Records haven't broken. I'm happy. I'm honored to be casting with you with this game. What?
Man,
Never...
the animals go all the way. We will deliver, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
It's not over until it's over. And either team here not looking like they want to give up. Again, this is a high-stakes matchup. Both teams fighting for tournament life.
It's just game one, but game one is as important as the other games.
Yeah, especially at this point. Yeah, I mean, this is your fight for greatness, and both teams, I know how badly they want it. Real quick, while nothing's happening, SGD Omega has been in the MPL for so long now, and Onic PH, the bridesmaid in last season, never the bride, not yet, but so close. They stomped Sunsparks in the whole series almost, 2 games, and then everything went downhill in the grand final. So both teams, you understand how they both really want this. They need this.
They need this. For them, only championship matters, honestly. And they can. They have a good contention to the crown. You can see Onic PH make it hard for Sunsparks to even win the MPL Season 4 and even keep their throne. I mean, Sunsparks eventually got it still. But Onic PH can easily take that crown away from them, with Fuzak and the Kingmaker now joining the team. But SGD Omega, that's also true for the team. They might not be the strongest in terms of like the chances against Sunsparks. They have lost against Onic PH. They have lost against Sunsparks, against Bren at certain points. But you have to take note, this team is also very good. They have well-established players. They have 2 gold medalists and a gold medalist coach. They have so much good talent with Hajizi as well as Toshi, but in the end, it's sad to say, but they will have to eliminate each other.
Yep, they have an MPL crown winner too in Hayes from previous season. So with that being said, both teams here, they've had a taste of the gold as it is. They know what it's like to be champion, and by hook or by crook, they are gonna get there, but they have to go through each other first.
My goodness. A little bit of silence before a possible storm, as both teams have regenerated their immortalities. And look at the maximum charge that I told you, Wise. He's a sniper at this point.
Everyone's got wings. Everyone's got wings, man. Maximum charge for Wise here is almost as easy as breathing. Maybe even easier. Because at this point, I'm breathless. Everyone watching right now, you guys know how hard it is to be playing Mobile Legends for 47 minutes all the way. This is a single game, the first game in the best of 3. And so far, we're at deadlock. I feel like we're at deadlock. Neither team here able to take Lord, able to push in lanes.
Oh man, stalemate for sure. I think everybody has unlocked their items. Wise though finds Toshi, who finds Ludo, falling Starmon, kept alive by Kenji, but there. What a good jump from Fuzak, and my goodness, they take out Toshi and Hajizi's clone. It's not gonna last long as they take out more members of Toshi, and Onic PH says, okay, we've taken down one of the generals of SGD Omega. Maybe we can go for the Lord, or maybe we can just go straight into the base. They're feeling it now, Leo.
And I love how Dilar just goes ahead and reports up top because he saw Hayes just clear minion waves, and that's very smart.
This is the best Guardian Spirit for sieging a very close skin, by the way.
Prestige is here. It's gonna begin. It's gonna start here soon, and Hajizi's clone has been bursted down. He's waiting in the wings, and now the tower, the turret is being focused down. They push us Omega in. Onic has entered. They knocked, and they.
48 minutes, the first inhibitor goes down. And if you're watching at home, stand up, clap your hands, as Onic PH finally have penetrated the base of SGD Omega. They can still go for more. A healthy wave up top. They are taking down the turret, but GZ with the damage is their punishment. Wise ups the immortality, and Hayes is prepared. They shut down the Kimi. Will they take out Hayes because of this? Oh no, Onic PH might have a very bad decision making at this point. They have lost 2 members in exchange for just 1, but they have taken 2 inhibitors. Is this a fair trade at all for Onic PH? It's a very hard question to answer because SGD, they can easily push, or can they? Maybe they'll take the Lord, or maybe they'll just shove the waves. I'm excited for this, Leo.
You know what? I'll need a couple more seconds to calculate if this is indeed worth it. It's gonna come down to SGD Omega's decision making, and the way it looks like they're thinking on the same wavelength as Onic PH. They're not going for the Lord. Instead, they are going to push back where they were penetrated, and they got eyes on mid. Kenji here is gonna be barreling down onto this mid turret. Hajizi gonna go down. The Ghost has been bursted out, and they take care of the minions. A lesson learned the hard way by Onic, and now they're putting it into practice. I love it. So far, you know what? I'm gonna say now it's worth it because there's no payback from SGD Omega. They keep their inhibitor. Lord is still up, and the waves are still pushed in towards SGD Omega. Onic won that. Onic won that, no doubt.
Oh yeah, I had to hand it to them. Oh. I needed a breather, Leo, because of the fact that I want to explain how SGD's Omega's draft look anti-Onic PH heroes, but not anti-Onic PH in the sense that this is a mobile game.
Yes,
they still cannot punish to death.
Oh, I got the perfect anecdote, man. The perfect saying.
What is it?
You know my draft, not my play, alright?
Oh, okay.
You see our heroes, but you don't know exactly what we're capable of doing. And for sure, in the first 15-20 minutes, they got their number, but now 50 minutes in, it's turned upside down. Onic PH able to make the most of what kit they have and punish SGD Omega for not knowing. But to be honest, credit where credit is due and benefit of the doubt, maybe SGD Omega knows what Onic PH can bring to the table. Maybe they're prepared, but they're not able to execute. They're not able to take advantage of what advantage they had in the early game. I said advantage way too often there, maybe twice in the same sentence, but the fact of the matter is Onic is now threatening bottom as well, so it's about to become happy defense time for SGD Omega.
51 minutes for just one game of Mobile Legends.
This is about to turn into a film, man.
It is.
We're about to watch a film, and if this goes on for 30 more minutes, then yeah, you guys should have had popcorn and some soda.
This is Onic PH versus SGD Omega Director's Cut extended remastered.
Yep.
I don't know anymore.
I've heard from the production team that the sequel is incoming, like confirmed. The sequel is happening.
The sequel is
immediately after this.
Hayes though. He's just spotted out, but there's a charge. Now they identify him. They found him. They marked him. It's gonna be up to Fuzaken. Fuzaken, let's go! Oh my goodness, just with a big
misses by an inch. Misses by an inch. Oh wow.
Just by a frame.
By a frame. Wise was like, contact! I got the enemy! But, you know, they're fine. It's okay. They pushed him away, and yep, I think they really have figured out where Hayes likes the camp out.
And you know what? You know that this is a good game even when it's a long game and it's a stalemate. Because sometimes long games aren't that much good. But if you know that
not entertaining. Not entertaining.
You know that a game is entertaining when even just a slight movement from a player, we hype it out. We feel a little bit scared for the players and a little bit excited for the opposing team. Yeah, you know that those are the benchmarks of a good game and good teams.
Yep. You know what, Wolf? This feels like a boxing match, but boxing matches don't have overtime. But for some reason, this one has overtime. Like we're at 12 rounds, and the referee and the judges are like, give him a few more. What? What we call in the business a backdoor. He backdoored the tower. So now they've penetrated Onic as well in mid, and now they're gonna make Kenji pay the price, popping immortality underneath his own turret here. Down he goes. Wise gets the finishing touch. He's gonna flicker in, gonna survive, but they do get Kenji, and that's what, a minute or so. 80 is that 85? Am I reading this right? 80.
No, honestly, Onic PH. You might lose like this once again. Hayes is in the middle.
Watch out.
Healthy. He has a cannon. They have to take care of this. Oh,
Someone in.
Yaknu's gonna port
No.
in.
The Potion have man-to-man defense. No, okay. Yaknu.
Man-
Wait, where did Yaknu go? Okay, Yaknu's able to
Okay.
defend. All right, they're
Okay.
fine.
Safe,
They're
safe,
okay.
safe.
Safe.
Oh
Not
my.
like that. Not like that.
this. Not like this.
Like,
Oh,
oh, there you go. They get Heath. Nice pick off. You know what?
Easy. Oh, last insanity. He's gonna the one.
3 kills. Who's next? Toshi. Going for the chance. Pops the immortality onto Wise. They take it down. Queen gets him. Hayes gonna take down Wise, but Hayes is being threatened here by 3 members of Onic. Hila raining down the flame. It's true damage. Oh, there's minions.
Minions. They have minions.
Hayes can defend. Whoa, the base is in damage range. Onic BH takes game 1.
Oh.
We hit an hour.
Hope we did. We're gonna see.